flies.
And he likes Mary. And this, this little boy likes Mary.
She's lucky.
Mary Begiscard.
You don't think it's hot in here?
Well, I'm frozen. I'm cold.
That's why you had the heater on all the time. I couldn't wonder why you had the heater on all the time. I kicked off all my blankets last night, and it was...
Well, I shut it down.
Where are you kidding? I had 4 blankets. I was sleeping. I could walk in the morning. I was chilly, and I thought, oh boy.
No, and then I had that stupid bird at 6 in the morning.
Well, I think it's warm. It's a room where my room is there, and the door is open. The cool air comes in there.
Well, I think I'll open the windows at night.
Well, the registers is open in there, so if there was hot air, it'd come up there.
I could feel the cool air in
I
there.
saw the screen outside the window. Is that
But
a bird?
birds did.
He liked you. I had a bird. You don't like a little
I put a
birdie?
picture up on the window to hope to scare it away. It didn't work.
What
It's
picture?
there pecking right on the window.
I know it. I think it sees things inside and it wants to come in.
One is really,
What a noisy.
he's just married, even married.
I thought you were knocking on the door, and I hopped up. Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, I heard you moving around a little bit. No, he's not getting up so early. It's a sad world, isn't it?
Never be ready now. You have to take his bag and stuff, put some food in there
Oh,
in the morning.
I got a box your thing up tomorrow, too. I don't even need to put it in a box, really, for that matter.
No, just take the box
Take the
along.
box with me.
Yeah.
I have a couple of things to take in there. It's okay. A couple. Oh my
Oh, I
goodness.
Huge trunk. Yeah, huge trunk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The trunk's real big.
yeah, it is. I noticed that.
I got a couple of bananas.
Yeah, bananas.
I'm going to take bananas here because you will need them, and I won't be eating them.
Well, it'll be something good to eat on the way.
I'm going to ask you questions about people I don't know.
So what are you putting that in the genealogy?
Well, yeah, I'm just asking.
He made a tape of Teresa and Moses.
Oh yeah? Where'd you get that?
Me?
Before Moses died.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, it was fun. And parents of Gregory, parents of Ruth, parents of...
Where'd they put all the money that they had?
That was me.
You're hiding money? You don't know? You got a treasure hunt, Mary, when she leaves.
No, I had some quarters. I had so many of them I kept to go wash
I
my
gave you
clothes.
that thing to put them in.
I don't know where I put them. Oh well, when I change all this stuff, they'll turn, put them up. They'll be in there.
Mary's going to treasure hunt when you're gone. Okay, Walter Leon is your dad.
That's right.
Married Alice Teresa. 3 kids. And when you were born, you're saying you were born out in the county. Where'd you guys? Was it a farm you lived on?
Yeah.
Farm.
My dad farmed. So I lived out there and
Like farm raising vegetables or
Yeah.
what, cattle or anything?
vegetable and wheat and that kind of
Wheat and
stuff.
stuff like that.
Corn loaves and stuff.
This was in Freeman Township.
Moody Town, yeah, Freeman Township,
Moody
Freeman County. And Wilbur was born there
Yeah.
2 years before. And
And so why did they move to the city?
work.
Farm wasn't making it.
I don't think it was a
I
tax
think-
board anyway.
So it looks like they moved between around 1913 or so. You were born in 12 and Mom was born in 14.
And I think Grandpa evidently sold the farm.
So this was your grandpa's farm?
That was
Yeah.
Grandma Barnes's.
Grandpa's farm.
Yeah,
Well,
William.
he was dead. He died in 14, but I mean, so he must have, Dad and our mother were just living there.
Because
Okay, so yeah, this would have
Glenn.
been. This is 1900. I show them in Moody, County Moody, Township Fremont. Is that right?
like Moody.
Fremont Township Moody. And that was William and Myra.
Yeah.
And he listed as a farmer. She's a housekeeper. Walter is 13 at the time. Bert is 9. Glenn is 5. So this is when your grandpa owned the farm.
Yeah.
So then after he died,
Well, see, he died after Ruth was born. He died the same year. I don't know what date he died.
Both of my grandpas died at the same
She
day.
killed them both off.
And they both died at Christmas time almost, didn't they? In January? I mean,
I don't remember what.
okay.
yeah, February,
That's the
January,
side.
February.
So this is the barn side. Yeah, William, I got him dying in 1914, December 26th. That's the same day Dad died,
Yeah, day after.
day after Christmas.
He's fighting all these little.
How much day was
Yeah,
it
this
for
is-
Dad? Dad?
December 26th, same day as Dad. And
Our mother and dad were married the same day that.
yeah, yeah, they were married.
Who was born there?
February 9th.
Yeah, right here.
My mother and dad.
Oh, yeah.
That's my anniversary.
Yeah, I
Same
know.
day we were. Okay.
Angel.
Now, okay, so they were living on, Walter, was he the oldest?
No, Maud.
No,
was-
Maud. So, and then Margie, and then Walter. So he's the oldest son, so he got the farm, is that how that worked? or-
Well, he didn't get it. He just
He
lived on
just
it.
lived there.
It was grandma's, really.
Mhm.
So that was, Myra, was she living there also?
No, then she moved into town in 1900.
Yeah,
And
1900.
what was town then?
Flandreau.
Because he was out boozing stuff, working in the, what was that town? Jackson.
No, Lake Campbell. He had a
Who, William?
he had a gambling boat on the lake.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. So
He owned it, or?
I don't know if he owned it or if he just, but he was out there all the time. He wasn't home.
Well, he
So
had
he-
to work on it because he was trying to get
He didn't
grandma.
want to be a farmer.
He wanted to have grandma's money, and she wouldn't.
They never got divorced, did they?
No, and it wasn't her money, it was their money, because they sold it to afterwards, so I suppose because he didn't want to live on it and she wanted to live in town.
And he wanted to sell the house. He wanted to,
Well, he wanted to sell a house in Flandreau.
yeah,
No.
in Flanders.
No, we're talking about the farmhouse.
The farm. And so then after, so how did the chronology of it go that she moved into Flandreau and your dad was married then?
No,
Because they got married when,
1910.
okay. So he was just staying in the house then?
He wasn't, he didn't work there.
He'd been in the
Grandpa's
soldier. He'd been in the army.
Walter?
Father.
the
Or
Navy.
dad.
The Navy.
Yeah, he was out there. Well, how long did they take? 4 years or 6 years? How long? I think just 4
Maybe.
years.
Yeah.
After high school? And
Yeah. I don't think he finished high school, but
And he was a cooker.
yeah, he was cook in the Navy.
Very good.
and then he married, let me find it here. Well, first let me get back here. So William and Myra lived on this farm.
Then she moved to, they built a house in town.
Okay.
She moved in town.
And they had 5
1900.
kids.
Mhm.
Six kids.
Yeah.
Glenn, Bert, Clara,
2 children
Walter,
died.
Maggie, and Maud.
Margie.
Margie.
Mhm.
2 children died, didn't they? Yeah.
She had twins. Bert and Marge. And Margie died.
Well, I have Clara and Bert being twins.
Or maybe it was Clara and
Clara
Bert.
and Bert, December 19th, 1890.
And
They both died?
Bert lived. See, he died when in 19.
Yeah, he's the one is he the one that I look like, or is it Glenn that I look like? One of them you showed me a picture and I look just like him. Really weird. He
Was that
married
Glenn?
Leela Boyce.
Yeah, that's Uncle Bert.
That's your Aunt Leela.
Hmm.
You met him,
I did?
Glenn's son, Bob, wasn't it?
Okay, so Walter lives on the farm with your mom.
Yeah, they moved there in 1910.
In 1910.
It's long enough for you 2 kids, since you should have her and you.
And then when weren't making a good enough living, so then they moved, went into carpentry.
Okay, okay, in 1910 is when your brother was born.
Mm-hmm.
And you were born in 12, okay, so then they moved into the city.
Yeah, the big city of
Sioux
Sioux
Falls.
Falls.
And then in 1914, you were born.
Mhm.
And then 4 years later, your mama died. 1918.
We were in Sioux Falls, Sioux City.
Yeah, by then we were in Sioux City.
Let me find her. Yeah, I have her dying in Sioux City, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were living in Iowa?
Yeah, we lived in Sioux City in a flat. They called them cold water flats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can remember the gas.
With our mother too. Did our mother live in that same
Yeah.
place?
Sure, we all did.
I thought she lived in a house in Watertown. They'd come over there
Well, we did in between after you
Before
were
she
born.
died.
We moved to Watertown, then we moved back to Sioux City.
because I remember being outside. Yeah, that's when the elephant came through.
No, that's when we were visiting Elkton. That's when the elephant from the circus went.
Oh, almost stepped on you.
Yeah, we were in
I remember you
a,
telling
we
me
were
the story.
digging in the dirt in the ditch playing it. Evidently Grandma McCaffrey's, you know, she lived by the railroad
Oh, I
track.
thought that was in
And the
Watertown.
elephant got loose from the circus and just walked right through over where we were sitting in the dirt there in the ditch.
Oh, I remember
So
that.
you were-
See, I
you were
thought it
little
was in
guys there.
Watertown.
That was in Elkton.
So you were really young then?
Yeah, our mother was still living then.
So mom was at least under 4 years old. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you were
I
in
thought
6
you-
when your mom died?
Mm-hmm.
Remember your mother much?
Not too much. I can remember, you know, just, I guess mostly what people told me.
And you don't remember much at all, do you, Mom? Your mother?
I remember and I don't know who told me this, or I remember I went in the funeral. They went in they had a big box, a house we went in there. I remember them bringing this, where they went, people?
Coffin?
Mortuary.
When we're outdoor, when they're driving here.
Oh, the
hearse.
hearse?
Yeah. And that's all I can remember. And I didn't see my mother or anything, but I just remember that happened.
But you don't have any memories of her when you were a little kid? Well, but now after she died, your dad didn't hold any pictures up or anything, did he?
But no one told us.
He just kind of
Yeah, that.
out of mind.
Well, see, our aunts wanted to adopt us.
Yeah.
One, I don't remember which one wanted which. One wanted Wilbur and one
So
wanted
that would have been Mary, Elizabeth, Julia, and
Anne. Marky wasn't married yet.
Margaret. The little
Yeah, she was younger. So it was one of those that wanted us. And
Did they wanted all 3 of you children?
Mhm.
No, they wanted to separate you.
he said, no way, after all, we just lost our mother.
Yeah.
Why would we
That'd been
lose,
hard.
you know, each other?
No, you're in Sioux Falls then.
Sioux City.
Sioux City, I mean, yeah.
That we were up to Flandreau, because she was buried in Flandreau, in Pipestone. So we went up there for the funeral.
And why
that's
up in
when
Pipestone? Is that where her family's from?
Mhm.
Our grandmother lived there.
And they thought it would be a good idea to just each one take one. I mean, it was good-hearted of him, but he said he couldn't see that. So,
So this was in 1914.
18.
No, 1914.
18 is when she died.
Oh, right, 18.
Mhm.
18. That's like a month born, okay. Oh,
I didn't die
yeah,
yet.
you do this, the numbers, they blend into each other.
Mhm.
Okay, Alice. So now, were her parents, let's see, when did they die? No, they died, yeah, they were still alive when you were born, Mary, and Mom
Yeah,
too,
they died,
Right
Grandpa
then.
died the same year she was born.
1914.
That was during the war, right?
Yeah, October 1914. So did you ever meet him or know him?
I didn't remember him at all. I remember
6
her,
years
but
old. Mary
Mary,
McCaffrey,
mhm.
and because she lived till 1925.
Yeah, she was a squatty little thing.
You know what I remember? We were little. When our uncle McCaffrey came after the war. He was in the war too.
Frank?
Yeah, and I remember when he came home that day. He came running home.
Our mother was still living.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So you remember him coming home and
And,
No, I don't remember much about him. Just everybody went there.
well, he had a gas mask that he brought home with him, so we all tried it on.
World War I?
We all got bloody noses from the thing.
What a
we
good
had,
one.
We had to try it on.
And he doesn't in any action. He didn't do any action, or he just gotten over to
France.
and
Uncle Glenn was over, that was Grandma's son Glenn was over in World War I too.
The other grandma.
Yeah, Graham Barnes' son, Glenn.
Uncle Glenn.
He was over in
I
France.
didn't know he was in.
Oh, yes. Don't you remember all the cards we had that he sent from France?
Uncle Glenn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for Pete's sakes, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. But you've just forgotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was,
Okay, so now then after your mom dies, you're living in Iowa then.
yeah, but we lived in
Very
Iowa. We
long.
came to Pipestone. After the funeral, we went over to Flandreau and stayed with Graham Barnes for that Christmas, because it was just about, she died about the 18th or something. I can't
Yeah,
remember what
maybe
it
that's what it was.
And so then we were to Graham Barnes's for Christmas,
No,
Natty Reppy's,
Myra.
Alice
I don't
Teresa.
know Alice.
But we couldn't have been, we must have gone home because I was still 4.
December 12th.
Before I was
Yeah,
4.
and so then we went over to Flandreau with,
Your grandma Barnes.
yeah, and our dad was there, and Auntie Reppy, and
Now who's Annie Reppy?
our grandma's sister.
So that would have been Grandma Barnes' sister.
Mm-hmm.
That's she's in
Myra.
McLaughlin.
So she was married, she had William, Myra, James, Charles, Anta Zeta,
Yeah,
and an Emma Netta.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were twins too. And,
Yes.
And died there.
And Lillian.
And Zimri,
Mm-hmm.
Burton, George Washington, Lily Ann,
Mm-hmm.
Frederick Oliver. Did you know
We
all these
didn't know
people?
any. We didn't know any of them. We,
That's 10 kids.
we knew Emma Zeta and Lillian, her two sisters. Those were the only two we knew.
And they were, I don't even know what his name was. It was,
Yeah, our
Roy.
grandma's
well,
Loyal's
Roy.
kids.
That's his
Right.
kids, loyal ratios.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were our great
Great
aunts. Mm-hmm. And we knew them.
No, I
What
see.
about any of the boys, the uncles?
Mm-mm.
No?
And the men died sooner then, didn't they?
I don't know when they died, but we never, they weren't around Grandma.
Okay, so you're living with Myra now, and
But just for a little while,
but she's a widow now, though.
yeah.
And then, when did your dad decide to put you in the Catholic home?
The next, like in January or February that year.
Yeah, because
Right, soon as right after Christmas was over. Because Grandma just,
I
didn't think
was
she
4
could,
then.
yeah.
And,
So then they decided, and that way,